Expedition 33 is no longer the highest rated game of 2025. It has been effectively dethroned by two games that are actually older. So Nintendo's playing games, I guess.
Hello and welcome back to Across the Podcast. My name is Aiden.
And I'm Stan.
3 weeks later. Welcome back. Let's get into the news and all that good stuff. Expedition 33 is no longer the highest rated game of 2025 on a technicality. It has been dethroned by the Switch 2 upgrade versions of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Should that count? Maybe not. But apparently it does.
Yeah, they're trying to Elden Ring this whole situation. And I honestly have a question because I'm not sure what we should classify Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Is it a remake? Is it DLC? Because you do get the app. That's new. There's not really new content. You do have the app integrated or integration or whatever you want to call it does allow you to do things a little differently. I guess you could say that's quality of life upgrades, maybe. I don't know. But it's not like you've got new places to go, new things to do, anything like that. So not DLC, but it's not a remaster because they didn't really do anything except for up the FPS. It's not, they didn't make it look better. They didn't retexturize it. They didn't do any of that. It just simply runs as it should have when they sold us a $70 game. But of course, they charged us again for it. So, Nintendo doing Nintendo things and possibly gonna reap some good rewards from it, which I don't like. So, this is a Pokemon situation all over again, man. You just sell things just 'cause. I don't get it. It's irritating.
Yeah, so the big thing was last year they changed the rules of Game of the Year so that DLCs can run. That was for the Elden Ring DLC. So the question is just, is this counted as a DLC? Because I think the majority of people side that it shouldn't. But obviously we don't decide what the Game Awards classes as a DLC or not.
Yeah. I mean, I would. It's like it needs a new classification. Like most games that Nintendo has remade, or they haven't even remade them. They brought it to the Switch 2. The Switch 2 edition of a game should have its own criteria. Like, basically, just to keep them out of everything else, just give them their own category. What is the best Switch 1 game played on the Switch 2? Just give them their own category, let them win that, and keep them out of everything else. Because this isn't. They're not remasters, but they're not DLC. They're not anything. They just work.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. Why has Nintendo done this?
I think they should just be left out, to be honest. I don't think they should have a thing at the Game Awards at all.
Yeah. I wouldn't be upset
Breath
with
of
it
the
at all.
Wild already won Game of the Year.
Yeah. It would be interesting to see it be, well, I mean, we almost had that with Elden Ring, but it was Elden Ring and then Erd Tree, whatever. What was it called? Something tree? Something about a tree. It was
Honestly,
Elden Ring and a tree. We're back on trees again. Every
Shadow
time.
Shadow of the Oak Tree or something.
Yeah.
I keep
with these games
almost calling
trees?
it Night Rain. That's a different thing.
No, that's the new multiplayer game, which
that's
had
the
that
new one. It's
had that one game of the year, which it won't. Unfortunately, I picked that one to be a good game this year in our little fantasy club thingy, whatever, and didn't do well. Did not do well. Probably because it's a 3-player game, and like, what the, who, why? Games are 1-player, 2-player, 4-player. Like, who has 3-player is weird. What have you done, Elden Ring? Anyways, beyond that, I'm perfectly fine with them winning absolutely nothing for either one of these games. Now, if DK winds up being their potential front runner for being game of the year, I hope it's not Mario Kart World. Gonna be honest with you, it's Mario Kart. It should not
Mario
win
Kart
game of the
World
year.
will win family, whatever that category is called, the family thing. 100%.
Possibly, but then the argument is
Not
made,
possibly.
does
What else is
Jamboree
there?
win that?
Jamboree's not beating out Mario Kart.
I mean, you get all the bonus features. You actually get to do things with those products that you bought for the Switch. Like, you remember this guy right here, this little camera? Yeah, pretty much useless unless you were going to use Nintendo's Discord, which, let's be honest, nobody did. You tried it and you were like, no, I'm done with this. I would rather send smoke signals than try to communicate with somebody over this. But
I'm fairly confident Mario Kart will win that category.
But Jamboree is supposed to incorporate this. If it's anything like the Nintendo's Discord in incorporation, it's not going to go well. So, not hopeful for it, but I do think it does give an option. I'm not. No, you know what? Yeah, it has a chance. It has a chance, man. It's the best Mario Party to date. It has a chance.
We'll see.
Yeah. And it's the Switch 2 version. We don't even know what that is yet. So it could be 60 FPS. It could have HDR and stuff. Motion control. I don't know.
Now.
Everything. It could have variable refresh rate. 8K OLED screen. I'm just shooting things here. Just everything. Lithium ion. It could be many things. Who knows?
Okay.
We'll find out.
Moving on, because you clearly don't know what you're talking about anymore.
Steam integration.
Do you want to move on to other Nintendo stuff, or?
Well, so for Nintendo, we don't have much other. Well, no, we do have all this.
We have some.
Okay, yeah. Let's go down the Nintendo rabbit hole here, everyone. So far this year, we have a few things planned out for a couple of months. Now, there have been some other creators that have made some statements about things, some that have done like little winky wink, hint hint things, and then have been so far proven right. They've even been quoted in articles about how they guessed it right. I don't know that I want to say their name, but if you know where I'm going with this, congratulations. I watch him too. But we do have something coming out for basically every month. We have Bonanza in July. Pokemon is in October. So we already know that Kirby Air Riders is coming later this year. Hyrule Warriors is coming later this year. Metroid is coming later this year. So what's going where is basically the only questions we have. Kirby Air Riders more than likely going to be November, and Hyrule Warriors to be December or January. I really think they're going to capitalize on December to be able to do Christmas sales. I don't think they'll push it to January. So that rounds out our year, except for September, which would be Metroid, we're assuming, because that's supposed to come out this year, right? Which
yes,
is not a terrible lineup, honestly. Nintendo has done this well. Sort of. You basically have a game of the month every month. So you have 1 month
which
to play
is how
a
Nintendo
game.
always does it.
Yes, but it's irritating that the console started out that way. Because to have a game released every month is really cool, but to only have one game for that whole first month that you have a system is awful. It's so.
That's true.
Look, I've been playing Pokemon. Okay, I've been playing Pokemon. We got Pokemon coming out in October. It's relevant. I can talk about it. Okay, I've been playing the best Pokemon game that is on the Switch by far, and that is Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. But I'm specifically playing Brilliant Diamond. They're a pair. See, what Pokemon does is they make 2 games, so that way they can get double the sales. It's a brilliant marketing strategy. But I'm only playing one of them. I own both of them. Don't get it wrong. I did buy both of them. But I bought one, got one free because they were doing a sale on it because nobody else liked these games. I do though. It's a great game. You should check it out. Seriously. Better than you would expect. Now, with this, that does lead me to be excited because I've been off of the Pokemon wagon for a little while, I guess you could say. I haven't put as much effort into playing Pokemon. I am a big Pokemon fan. I do really enjoy it and loved it as a kid. But now that I'm back on it, I am kind of excited for October because Digimon comes out that month, and I can't wait to play that. And then compare it to the slop that is going to be Pokemon Legends EA.
We'll see. So the reason
Yeah.
this is actually news, because you kind of glossed over that, is we got
I might
a
have.
release date for Drag X Drive. So August is knocked off the list. That is why this is actually...
Oh, yeah, right. I forgot August.
We can start speculating on this because before, there was a few too many months to really put things in order. The reason Metroid is probably going to come in September is because we already have October's game. So
Right.
it would either have to be Metroid or Kirby in September. And we've barely seen anything for Kirby, and we've already had several trailers for Metroid. So it seems like it's probably going to be Metroid. And then they'll release Kirby later. Because we already know that Hyrule Warriors is coming out holiday period. So December, January time.
Well, actually, they may surprise us because dude, thinking about it, I did mention Jamboree. Jamboree also comes out in July, so you're getting DK and Jamboree in July.
Yeah, but Jamboree, like, that's just the Bowser TV stuff. It's not really a game.
Yeah, but that's incorporating the reason why you bought all this extra stuff with the Switch too, all the gimmicks and stuff that it has. Other than Welcome Tour, which, let's be honest, who bought that? No one.
Sure.
So with this, you would think because Dragon Drive is going to be another big game that utilizes the new technology of the Switch too. So it's Metroid is also a game that utilizes this. Why is it taking so long?
Yeah, sure.
I could see,
They
especially with
they want to drag things out for the year, so they actually have things to stay relevant with.
That's possible, but that brings up the mistake of the Metroid Prime poster that was shown, and they changed it from out now to say 2025.
So there was a poster put up on the London Underground of Metroid Prime, saying out now. This has been officially said to be a mistake. It was right next to a Mario Kart poster with the exact same out now, like, branding on it. They've now taken it down and said it was wrong, and it now just says 2025 on it. So
I want that poster.
So someone got fired.
Yeah. What is interesting to me is that we're getting these announcements for dates, right? And we're getting them like a month in advance, basically. That's infuriating. Like, I want to be anticipating a game, a release date. I want to be excited to know that this day this game comes out, and they don't even give me that opportunity. Like, I'm tired of waiting for some of these games already, just because I haven't been given a date to know what to expect. Metroid should have been out 3 years ago, in my opinion. So, what's going on?
This does also once again beg the question: is there going to be a summer direct this year? Because there usually is. There's usually a direct in June, July. But if they're dropping release dates for Drag X Drive just on the app instead of waiting for a release, and then also the Splatoon stuff we talked about last week, seems like they probably don't have a direct for June, July. Otherwise, they'd just say all this then.
Yeah, now that could be, they could take a deeper dive into these things during that direct, and maybe they just wanted that out now. Maybe they just wanted to go ahead and get the information out, and then. So, actually,
that doesn't
brilliant
seem
thing.
Nintendo-esque, though.
Well, if they do this, if if you're expecting there to be more about these things that they're releasing, then whatever they do give you information on will be a complete surprise because you have no idea what to expect now. Which
My guess is that
then,
there'll be a direct in like September, maybe.
oh really? You think they're gonna push one back till September?
I think so, because they still need to give us more information about the games coming out later. We've seen very little of Kirby. We've seen very little of Hyrule Warriors. I think there'll
Yeah,
be
very, very
a
little of
September
Kirby.
direct
Actually,
to.
we saw like the title.
Yeah, I think there will be a September direct to like actually go into those once we have Metroid and once we have Drag X Drive.
Maybe. I want to know, when do we get the Switch 2 Lite? When does that come out?
I want to know when we get Silk Song. Where is it?
Silk Song news. Da-da-da.
That is the Silk Song. There is no Silk Song news. The
Yeah.
news is that there is no news.
Yes.
I have tried
Silk
2
Song
weeks in a
news.
row now. Diddly squat.
What week is this? What week is this? What week are we in now?
13.
13. Silk Song news update, week 13. Listen in. I need you to come here. Get in here real close and listen to me, people. What we have here is a lack of information. And with that lack of information, I need you to understand that we know nothing. And we should know more. What are they doing? Why has Xbox been the most influential thing as far as our knowledge? And why was that even speculation? And then it had to be talked about even more. What are we doing here? Silk Song. We want it. We, the people, want Silk Song. Give us Silk Song. There. That'll be all. You may go back now.
There's that clip.
Yeah.
Speaking of Xbox, though, because I think
Breaking
we're
the
done
fourth
with
wall.
Nintendo.
Oh yeah. Xbox.
behind
We
the
got
curtain.
some big Xbox news. Huge, life-changing Xbox news. If you would please tell the folks this life-changing news.
The 360 got an update?
Yeah. You know, that console that came out, I don't know, like 18 years ago. Like, I feel like it was 2007. Wasn't it 2007?
2005.
Oh, 20 years ago. Oh my God, I'm old. Stop it. Yeah. I mean, I'm as young as I once was. Anyways.
November.
So yes,
I
we have
was
an update.
17 months old.
That's
Bloody hell.
okay. I was playing video games excitedly.
So was I.
Not
I
on the
had a leapfrog.
360. Not on the 360 though. I had to wait a couple of years before we got to that. I was still on the Xbox that I had just gotten. So you had to wait a couple years after it came out, and then I would get it. So,
Fair.
yeah.
So there's always been an issue with the dashboard on the Xbox on the 360, sorry, where certain things would load in and the images would like stretch. They fixed that this week.
Yeah. 20 years. It's been stuck like that for 20 years. They fix it now. Microsoft, here to support your dreams and make your games better.
You love to see it.
Yeah. Which is weird, because is the Xbox 360 an Xbox? I heard everything is an Xbox. Yeah.
Have you heard the rumors of... I didn't write this down because it's not confirmed, but there's rumors that they're going to be doing a partnership with Meta the same way that they did one with the Ally.
Oh, I saw like the pictures of someone made like a translucent or whatever it is, transparent green Meta Quest headset. I imagine it was probably just AI. They just said, "Hey, do this."
Yeah,
and
probably.
it did it.
But there's rumors floating around that is a thing. Maybe not in that render, but the concept of the Xbox and the Meta Quest being a thing is floating around.
Well, I mean, I don't hate it because I'm not going to buy it anyways. So, sure.
My question is, what does Xbox bring to that? How many VR games are on Games Pass?
That is a good question. How many mainline is there any mainline game that's an Xbox exclusive? I put quotations there because there is no exclusive anymore. But how many are VR? Like they don't even have VR. PlayStation has VR. You have PSVR. We have never had Xbox. We had the Kinect. That was like VR in reverse. So I don't
PlayStation
know
had
what
the
their plan here
iToy.
is.
Let's not pretend that was just Xbox.
Yeah, okay, yes, they had that too. But what I'm saying is that PlayStation did move on and they did go the VR circuit. So there is a headset. There is VR support. There are VR games that PlayStation made. There's an Astro Playroom VR game. So, but Xbox has never touched VR. There's been nothing to do with VR for Xbox.
No.
So I guess this could be them getting into the game late, finally, as Xbox does.
Maybe.
Maybe the next console will be the Xbox 2. Maybe they'll finally put a number on it.
I always assumed that that's where Nintendo was going.
No, they tried Labo. We saw how that went.
Yeah, that is kind of what came of that, but I always assumed that the Joy-Cons were made in that way to also be used as VR controllers.
Oh. Yeah, okay. I could yeah. I mean, that makes sense. But Nintendo said, "You know what? Take those, throw them on their side and put them on your desk. They're mice." So,
I guess
you never know what to expect.
Traumatized with the Virtual Boy.
Yeah. I mean, next thing you know, those little guys are going to have wheels on them and you're going to be able to roll them around as tech decks on your desk. So,
Can you imagine playing like Mario Odyssey in first person VR? The motion sickness you would get.
imagine playing Super Mario Wonder in VR. You're just jumping and climbing things. Oh, Mario Kart in VR. That'd be
That would actually be kind of cool.
Mario Kart. Yeah. They have a ride at their amusement park.
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
You know
Which
what
they
would
may
be a
not be the
better
only ones.
amusement park though.
Oh, yeah, okay. You got it. No, go ahead.
So it was Sonic's birthday this week. It's also my birthday this week, if anyone cares. But it was Sonic's birthday this week.
That guy.
So we got a fair bit of news about Sonic. One of which was that there are early talks of a Sega theme park being built in the States. It is Sega theme park, not just Sonic, but they say it will mostly focus on Sonic because obviously, who wants to go to?
Well, yeah, obviously.
Alex the Kid world. Obviously,
that's oddly specific that you chose that one.
I know my Sega. So there have been Sonic theme park rides in the past. There was one in the UK. I think it was at Alton Towers. I could be wrong with that.
And there was that invention, motorcycles. They made those. Those are essentially Sonic rides.
Yeah. But a whole theme park of just Sonic would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
We have no word on what any of this would be or mean. We just have some very, very early talks of this is probably happening eventually.
Yeah, by that time, I mean, amusement parks might be digital. So you'll
Maybe
just
by
throw
that
on your
time,
Xbox
actually...
MetaQuest and enjoy the Sonic rides.
Yeah. Maybe by then I'll actually be able to afford to go to the States. We'll see.
That's, I mean, if you want to.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if the States still exists by then. But I digress.
This one will.
We got
coming here.
We got some Crossworlds news as well. Crossworlds has now officially revealed the Nickelodeon collab. We already knew about this. We already talked about it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's now official.
We were here first.
SpongeBob is in there.
Yeah. Bikini Bottom is all you're gonna be revving your engine all around that Bikini Bottom. I kind of
I'm
don't
gonna let
like
that
that I
one
said it,
sit
but
for a
I've said
bit.
it. Just carry on. Do your thing.
There was a interview with one of the main producers of the game talking about the philosophy they used to design the game, which I personally find quite interesting. They made the game without items in mind. They made the game just focusing on trying to make the actual driving as fun as possible. And then afterwards
Okay.
decided to put the items in and try and balance them based on that, which I think is pretty nice because it means they're not relying on it being a kart racer. They're just making a Sega race, because obviously there's two teams working on this game. There's the Sonic team and I forget the name, Sega Racing or something.
Yeah. Well, if
Collaborating
that's
on
the
this.
case, then I would hope that they have a different mode to where you can do no items. And
I would
it's
imagine
like
so.
I hope so, because that if that's what you've focused like the majority of making your game off of, I hope there's a no items mode because I would like to try that. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't want to play Mario Kart with Sonic. Okay, I want to play Sonic
I do. I like the last
crossplay
couple.
cosplay that. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be. I'm actually somewhat excited for it. I do want to try it. I'll buy it at least. I don't know that I'll try it, but I'll buy it. So I'll support the physical release if it has a physical release, which it did on limited run for some reason. They had a collector's edition on limited run.
It also just
I
has
still
a
don't know what
normal
that's about.
physical.
Yeah. If normal physical, I'll buy it. If it doesn't have a normal physical, then you can get out of here. I'm not supporting, and you go back to making my games to where I have my games. I may not own them or the rights to them, but I shall be able to pick them up and look at them and put them into a game console that has no internet connection and play them.
And
That'll
maybe a
be
thing
all.
of the past. Just like
No, no.
Hytale. You ain't playing that at all. So, for the 5 of you who know what Hytale is, hello. For the rest of you, Hytale is a game that was being developed by Hypixel, or I forget the name of the studio. The Hypixel spin-off, the Minecraft thing. There was a Minecraft spiritual successor that's been in development for like 8-9 years now. Has officially been cancelled. We all knew it was going to get cancelled because we haven't heard anything about it for like 4 years. But they've now officially come out and said we're not making this anymore. So cool.
I'm so sad. I'm saddened deeply by this
So
loss.
sad. All of us were so anticipating this Minecraft
Yeah.
knockoff.
Yeah. Imagine if they did the same to Silk Song. Ah, that would hurt. Xbox has killed a lot of things. Maybe it'll be your dreams next.
Maybe it will. Where do we want to go next? Assassin's Creed.
Well, we've got a couple
We
of
started
things.
this podcast on Assassin's Creed.
Why not? Yeah, Assassin's
We built
Creed.
this
Guys,
city.
do you remember that game, Assassin's Creed Shadow, that released earlier this year after being delayed from later last year, and that everybody thought was going to be absolute terrible because Ubisoft is known for producing shite? Well, turns out that was actually a great game that they learned a valuable lesson from, that if they take their time building a game, that it can do better. And we're proud of them for that. They have taken that step forward and decided to add a new difficulty mode, which is called Nightmare, which is supposed to be more difficult, I assume. And they've added a world alarm system and a new potato mode, which I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I am a console gamer and I didn't know what potato mode meant before this podcast started recording. I now am in the know. Like the kids say, So if you have a older PC and you need to be able to run this game at high FPS and you don't care what it looks like, you may still not get high FPS, but the game will run. So that's the good news. Potato mode, potato. Yep.
I love how you just keep talking.
I try, man. I try. I'm trying to keep this. I'm trying to I do words, man. You know what I'm saying? Words.
So yeah,
It's all
the
about telling a
nightmare
story.
difficulty mode is just a harder mode. As far as I can tell, it's not like permadeath or anything. But the world alarm system,
shame.
that is, if you annoy too many NPCs, you can get a wanted level, essentially. That's what it is.
Hey, I saw that.
And then, yes, the new potato mode for lower end budget PCs. That's it, though.
Yeah, that's it. Still haven't played it though. I'll get to it one day.
It's good that they're still updating
Now I can
it.
just
Maybe not so
I
great
can
that
just
this
try
stuff
it.
wasn't just in the game at launch.
I can just try it on nightmare difficulty now. I don't even have to play. All these other people experienced this game not in nightmare mode. I can experience it for the first time in nightmare difficulty. Get on my level. Where were you? I was here. Waiting. I did that. It was not enough of a challenge for me, and I knew it, so I didn't subject myself to that. And now I'm ready to step up and beat this nightmare after I beat the first 13 games.
All right,
Yeah,
man.
I'm gonna be here a while.
So this week we also had the State of Unreal event. Some exciting stuff. They showed off the new Witcher game. Witcher 4 was shown off to showcase the state tree feature in the new Unreal Engine. This is essentially like a really advanced version of how you program NPCs. Normally, you would just have state table, I guess, is the best way to visualize it. Each NPC would have various states, dialogue options, and so forth. This state tree allows lots of things to happen. So if the examples they show are you could bump into an NPC carrying some food, they would drop the food. That's normally where that interaction would end, right? That's about as far as things typically go. With this state tree, that can then link to other NPCs, and you could have someone come and steal the food. And then they would go off and maybe try and sell the food, and it would, the knock-on effect. And that's the tree. It branches off in many different. You know what trees are. Trees are everywhere in games. I don't know why, but
it's a big deal. It's a big deal, man.
Big deal. But yeah, this is all to showcase the new Unreal Engine update, 5.6, which is a big deal because 5.5 was iffy to say the least. It had a lot of performance issues, which is strange for a games engine. You could just not release it, but okay. So now they've fixed all of those. It's not like you have to meet a deadline, it's not a game. It's an engine. No one pays to use this, really. Sometimes maybe on a very high production scale, but then surely you wouldn't want to release an unfinished update. I digress. We now have 5.6, which is actually good. It also brings the meta-human creator in engine, for now. Before, the whole meta-human creator, which is like making a sim, but really advanced, was a browser thing, and then you would have to download that, import it into the engine, use it in there. Now it's just all in engine, which is pretty cool to see. They made a big change, which is you can now use those elsewhere. You can make the 3D model of the thing and then export it and use it in other things, which is... They didn't have to do that. That's pretty cool.
That's... Okay, that's interesting.
For context, if you haven't seen the meta-human creator, it's like photorealistic. It looks like people. It's pretty nuts. There's also a live animator now where you can make this thing. You can make animations by either just recording yourself, or there's now, for, I believe it may be facial only, is now for live animation where you can record yourself with just a phone or a webcam, and it will live animate this person you've created to match your facial movements, which is insane.
I mean, there was a big thing a couple of years ago where a lot of like EA's games where you take a picture and like upload your face into the game and then they would make a character based off of it. That went away. Like that just stopped happening.
This is
I don't know
that, but
why.
good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, that wasn't great, but like it's just interesting that we're back to that, but we've apparently taken time to make it work right.
Yeah.
Because I
Good to
am
see.
interested. I want to know if I can get an older. Because I'm sure I have at least one or two games where that's still a thing. I wonder if the servers are still up and if I can try to do that to get a character to look like me, and then compare it to how this works.
Maybe.
Because I would like to see that.
They also made some changes to the Epic Games Store for developers, which is cool. Most game stores, when you upload a game, will take a cut of that forever, right? Steam famously takes 30% of everything you make. Now, normally engines, with what happens is the engine will take a cut of the game made with that engine, and then also the store will take a cut depending on how you do it. The engine normally takes a cut after you've made a certain amount. We'll not talk about Epic right now. Epic was doing a very strange thing. They've now gone back on that. That's not news. This was like 6 months ago, but they've now gone back on the weird stuff they were doing, and they're now saying that if you use what am I talking about? Not Epic, Unity. Unity was the one doing the weird stuff. They're still doing weird stuff. Epic,
I was just gonna let you
which
keep
is
going.
Unreal.
Is it Unreal, or is it Epic? Which one is it?
Unreal Engine.
That sounds epic.
Epic Games launch. Unreal is owned by
That's no. That's Unreal, man. That's Unreal.
I'm leaving. When
That
you
would
make
be
things
epic.
with Unreal now and put them on the Epic Store, they no longer take a cut for the first like $1 million you make or something, which is a big deal for indie devs because they normally don't make that much at all.
Oh yeah. That is
So,
really good.
Very, very cool.
I mean, could have been doing it from the beginning, but you know, whatever. We'll just praise you now for taking it back.
They could. They still make money with because people buy the game through them. There's now you can link it with the Epic rewards.
Who buys a game on Epic? Let's be honest.
Well, that's the thing. They're trying to get people to now because they're also linking it with. You know, when you buy stuff on Fortnite, you get like a little bit left over, and eventually you can buy some V-Bucks.
Epic rewards, yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to introduce that you can use that to like buy games and stuff now, which is.
So you mean to tell me Fortnite V-Bucks is going to pay for me a new game?
Maybe.
Eventually. Yeah, there's only one problem with that. I don't like digital games. And before you say, but sir, you just said you buy V-Bucks, which means you play Fortnite, which is a digital game. I'll have you know there's a physical copy of it up there, right there. You can't tell what it says, but I know it says it. There's also one over there too, but that's the Xbox shelf. That's the rejects. We don't see those that often, but because they don't even know who they are or what their names are. So they're over there. But there's one there too. There's a Rocket League over there as well. I don't have a Rocket League for this. I should probably get one.
Speaking of Fortnite, they also announced some Fortnite changes at this Unreal event. Mostly regarding creative. So if you just play the game like we do, this doesn't affect you in the slightest. But if you make maps on Fortnite, there's now new AI tools, which is... We spoke about this before. The AI seems to mostly be trained on internal documentation, so it's just trained on how Fortnite creative works and also the Fortnite IP. It's still an AI, though, which is iffy.
I want a pitchfork. For every time you say AI, I just want to be holding a pitchfork and be like, AI!
So some people will use that. I don't know. It generates code, which, if you're just making Fortnite maps, fair enough, it might be alright. I will say, if you're writing proper codes, don't use AI. It writes terrible code.
Yeah,
If you're
AI
just using like
AI sources
general AI,
code from terrible code. Like it just finds code and uses that code. And then when you try to use it, it's using that code that it's just found. Could be good, more than likely is bad. So the product you're going to wind up with is going to be bad or broken. So
exactly.
basically just a game before day one patch. That's what you're going to be doing. That's probably how video games are made now.
Kinda. The largest source of code on the internet is Stack Overflow, which is 99% people writing bad code and asking how to make it better. So if they're just taking all the bad code from Stack Overflow and regurgitating it back out, you're not writing very good code.
Yeah, you're just getting another Call of Duty game.
Exactly.
Shots fired. Did you see that? Yeah, coming for you. What's up? What's up?
Uh,
Activision, I see you. What? They're still made by Activision, right? I'm not.
I think so, yeah.
I don't know. It's been a
They're not
long
getting
time since I
Toys
looked
for
at a
Bob to
case.
work on Call of Duty anymore. What a wild
That's
time
true.
that was. Speaking of getting game developers to work on things they're actually good at, we have new concept art has been kind of leaked for... Okay, so the Arkham series. If you don't know, I'm a big Batman fan. I really like the Arkham games. I've played a lot of the Arkham games. There was some studio meddling with Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League that made it not very good. It seems that there may be some evidence to suggest that they are doing another normal Arkham game. So before we got Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, we had some concept art leaked for a game that was going to be called Arkham Beyond or something similar to that. It was essentially going to revolve around Bruce.
Like Batman Beyond? Arkham Beyond?
No, it was like loosely based on Batman Beyond. Yes, it was. Terry wasn't in it, so you know. It was essentially, it was going to be an old man Bruce trying to cling on to being Batman, and Damian, the youngest of the Robins, was going to be, those were the two characters you were going to play. It was going to involve Killer Croc, it was going to involve Huntress, it was going to be pretty cool. That was back in 2015 though, and it promptly got cancelled. There's new concept art for it though. We don't know if this means that they're working on it again, or if this just means somebody had some concept art for it from 2015, found it, and posted it. I don't know. But it would be nice, because Warner Brothers made a monumental fumble when it came to the Batman IP in video games. They swapped they had two projects and they swapped the teams that were working on them. So they had Rocksteady, who made the Arkham trilogy, as people call it, Asylum City and Night. And then they had Montreal, who made Arkham Origins. Montreal was going to make a Suicide Squad game. It was going to be a single-player experience, much like the normal Arkham games, and was going to be based around, you know, Harley Quinn. Deathstroke was going to be a much bigger player, things like that. That's where the post-credit scene in Arkham Origins is hinting at. And Rocksteady was going to be working on a Bat Family game to kind of go on from Night after Batman dies, but not really. Spoilers for a game that came out 10 years ago.
How dare you, sir?
I know. Those projects got swapped. So the Bat Family game went to Montreal, which then became Gotham Knights, which is notoriously not very good. And the Suicide Squad game became Kills the Justice League, which is notoriously not very good. So I think we live in the worst timeline, because if those didn't get swapped, I believe both games would have been a million times better. But
well, I mean, they could have been worse.
Yeah.
So
they could have been worse, but I don't think they would have been, because it would have been the projects that were pitched by the people who wanted to make them and not randomly swapped for no reason. But anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
I
seems
still
like
I still kind of want to get Arkham Knights, even though I know it's supposedly a terrible game. I still kind of want to get it. Or
it's not a
Gotham
bad
Knights, right?
time.
Is it Gotham? Is it Gotham Knight? Arkham Knights.
Gotham Knights. Arkham
Gotham Knight. Yeah,
Knight
that one.
singular is the
Arkham.
last
Yeah,
Arkham game.
I was say
Gotham
I
Knights.
have the Arkham Knight games. I have all of the Batman games. Unfortunately, I have them for Xbox, and I can't be bothered to play with that controller. So I need to rebuy them for PlayStation at some point.
Um, Gotham Knights isn't a. Everyone like dogpiles on it so much. It's not as bad as everyone says it is. I had fun playing with a friend. It's a multiplayer game. I would say
Oh,
the post-launch content isn't fantastic. There's like
mm,
a challenge tower of stuff you can do to get better loot. That wasn't very good. It's a lot of the same stuff done over and over again to get marginally better stats, which is some people's cup of tea. It's not mine.
yeah.
Um,
When you say multiplayer, do you mean like couch co-op or online?
we played it online. I don't think it's split screen. I don't think you can do couch co-op.
Oh, okay. Well, then you should have said this before. We could have played this game together, man. What's wrong with you?
Because
We
I've
could have
already
been
played
tried
the
this.
game.
So you can play it again. You can play it with me.
we can if you want, sure.
I mean, if I was going to give it a shot, if there's anybody I should play with, it would be you. You know what I'm saying?
Sounds good. Let me know when you pick
What
it
else
up.
am I going to fight with?
It's fair.
Do you get it?
Well, Nightwing is one
You
of
see,
the characters.
it's funny
And
because
he uses the screamer sticks. Do you not know much about Gotham Knights at all then?
no, nothing. I know absolutely nothing at all. I watched a couple of trailers of when it was being released, and I didn't pick it up on release. And then I heard it did terrible, so I just stayed away from it. But
So
I've
it's
always looked at it, and it's been on sale, and you know how I am when I see things on sale. So I've almost bought it several times just because of that. I may buy it today since we're talking about
fair
it, and I
enough.
have to go out to a store. So we'll see.
It's
I
like
have
a
a problem.
midpoint between a single player Arkham game and Suicide Squad. You do, but anyway, it's you like it's a nightly thing. So you go out for a night. You do certain missions. You collect rewards. You get armor crates and stuff. You slowly level up armor. You level up yourself. You get different gear, weapons, stuff like that. And then you finish the night. You go on. You do more quests. It adapts night per night. So if you're going after a certain gang, they'll like move places. You can follow them further, stuff like that. You can interrogate them to get more missions the next night, stuff like that. There is also a main story. So like there's story missions you can do. You can do them together. It's up to 2-player. I recommend playing it 2-player. I had more fun that way. Um,
I'm trying to.
it's a little jank, but it's a good time. I would say stop playing when you finish the story. I played through all of New Game Plus and then tried to do the challenge towers. I didn't have as good of a time doing that. Yes, you can unlock a new colorway if you defeat Starro. It takes you 30 hours. You have to do it with a friend because you can't just grind it out on your own. And then you just get a color that you can't use because you've got no more missions to do. Like,
That's so. I will never understand that. I will never understand a game that allows you to unlock something at the end of it. What are you supposed to do with that?
well, Arkham Knight does that too. You get a reward for getting 240% completion, which we'll not talk about that number. It's a whole different thing. But when you get 240% completion, you get a special skin. But there's nothing left to do with the skin because you've already done everything in the game. All you've got left is challenge maps that you've already played.
Yeah, that's these are wild
No, I'm not
concepts you're speaking
salty.
about.
Yes, I have the platinum for that game. Shut up.
He got 241%.
But I would love to see them pick Arkham Beyond back up. I would love to see them just do another Arkham game in general.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen. So I've played. I've played a little bit of the games. I was not a big fan of Arkham Asylum, if I'm being honest. I tried to play that
It has
game like
aged.
two or three separate times, and I made it out of the asylum one time because I just by the time it got to that point, I was just like, I'm tired of this. I don't like this. I'm Batman, but I'm locked in this little bitty room. Like, I'm Batman. I'm supposed to be flying around the city. I'm trapped in a jail. What is this?
So Arkham Asylum was made so long ago that it kind of defined the genre it was making. The free flow system that they use was invented for Arkham Asylum. So, there were some limitations that they hit. I would say if you want to play all of the Arkham games, play Asylum first and make yourself play Asylum first. Because once you play the others, you're not going to want to play Asylum anymore. It's considerably worse
What if
than
I
the
just
other ones.
watch you play it? Does that count?
If you don't want to play it at all, don't bother. Just play City. I
Oh,
don't care.
okay.
I'm not your dad. But if you want to play all of them, make sure you do that one first because you won't want to go back to it if you play the others first.
Maybe I don't know. We'll see. It's on my list, possibly.
If you want to just skip to the good bit of Batman flying around the city, just play City. You'll enjoy it more.
Okay.
If you want to play all of them, you play Asylum, then City, then Origins, then Night. Night is different enough from City and Origins to be its own thing. City and Origins are very similar, but in fact, Origins was actually built off of City. They technically took City, stripped out the missions, and then built Origins on top of it, which is a different story. I know too much about these games.
So like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, basically.
Kinda, yeah. But it was made by a different studio, and it looks completely different. It's like they remade all the assets and stuff. I could talk forever about the Arkham games. Let's move on because I'm boring people.
Okay. Well, let's extract from that and head on over to Chicken Run Extraction. Egg extraction, like an egg. The chicken and the egg, which came first. Who knows? Yeah, seems to be inspired by Metal Gear, just like the PS1 game was. That's a line that's written in there that I read out loud that I'm not sure what it even means. But I did my job here, and I read that line from the prompter. So, would you please explain to the people what that line means?
Chicken Run had a PS1 game. Chicken Run is a movie, for those of you who don't know, made by Aardman. It is a very old movie and had a PS1 tie-in game at the time. They recently, I believe last year, released a sequel to said movie, and they are now releasing another game based on the sequel. The original game was loosely based on Metal Gear.
I just remembered I had that movie on VHS.
It's an old movie.
Which one? Who does that date more, me or the movie?
I mean, I had VHSs as a kid. That's not ridiculous.
Okay, but I got it new.
Okay, fair.
As a matter of fact, we got it after we watched it in Blockbuster. Like, we rented it from Blockbuster to watch it, and then I got it on VHS as a present. So,
great movie. Great movie.
It is a great movie. So hopefully the game will be good. I just for nostalgia reasons, I'll buy that and look at it. Maybe I'll play
everything
it.
Everything
I'll look
makes
at it.
is good. They're working on a Pokemon thing at the minute, which is weird. It's all full circle.
Okay, we'll have to talk about that later. We'll get more into that.
They have
to kind of. What?
We don't know what it is. We just know they're working with Pokemon on something.
Yeah, we'll just keep it as a reminder and try to stay updated on it. That way we know going forward to look for this. By we, I mean me. But just write it down somewhere. I don't know. But to kind
Fair
of
enough.
close it all out, we do have some exciting news for this guy right here. We are going to get a Hellblade 2 enhanced edition. We are also getting, if I'm not mistaken, we're getting an enhanced edition of the first game as well. That's going to be great. It's going to be available for PS5, the first one. I'm saying this, and then I'll get back to the second one. The first one's going to be available for PS5. If you own the PS4 copy of it, like this guy does right here, then you will be able to get the update for free. If not, then it is going to be a full price game. So, do with that information what you will. I won't have to buy it. I'll just get to update it because I do know that's the only game that I've ever put in my PS5 because I've never owned a PS4, but I own PS4 games. But I put it in there and it says that some features may be different or may not work or whatever. That game has actually crashed on me in several spots. I haven't had that happen with any other game.
Oh.
But Hellblade has crashed on me multiple. There's a part early in the game where there's like a face and a waterfall, and if you get too close to the face, it'll just crash. It won't let you get up to see the texture of like the water or anything. It just crashes and kicks you out, and you have to restart the game. So that's an interesting little fact there, and I'll be excited to actually go walk up to that waterfall on my PS5 version when I get it updated. But the second one,
PS4. Go on,
yeah.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I have a tangent. It's fine. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, so on August 12th, we are getting the second, the enhanced version of the second game, which will be to benefit like the PS5 and the features that it has, the PS5 Pro and things like that. Take advantage of that. I'm not sure if it's been announced yet when we're going to get the physical copy of it, which will be what I'm waiting for. But we do get to play it on PS5, which we haven't gotten to do yet on August 12th. So that is exciting. Now, go on your tangent, sir.
Nice. So PS4 and PS5 have quite different architectures in how they run. They're not really just upgraded versions of one another. The PS4 runs pretty strictly on von Neumann architecture, and the PS5 has the whole new like center mass of data that can be taken from on both sides. So that's why there's some issues with just putting a PS4 game into a PS5 and it not always working when you'd think it should, but it's not quite the same as just an upgraded version.
I would say I have many PlayStation 4 games, and the only one I've ever had a problem with is Hellblade. So that's interesting.
I say it's usually fine because
yeah,
because usually they either do something to it or it was made in such a way where it doesn't matter. But some games were specifically optimized to run just on the PS4, and if they're too specific, then they don't run too well on the PS5 because it runs different.
They shot themselves in the foot trying to get it to run exactly on that hardware.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Well, I'm happy that it's a free upgrade and it's not an upgrade that I have to pay for. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I do not like having to pay for the upgrades. That's dumb. Nintendo's
I don't like
doing
having to pay
too.
for anything.
That's true. Free is nice. I like free. Free is the best. But
we like free.
Yeah, free is great. Speaking of free, you want to know what else is free? If you've watched this far, it is free to subscribe, which will allow you to, be part of this little community that we've got going on here. It's also free to like this video, which will help us out and hopefully get us to more people that will subscribe and like this video to, just make it a better atmosphere here with more people involved. That's what we're looking for. That's what everybody needs. It's also free to turn on that bell for notifications because people do that for some reason. I'm not sure why. I'm not even sure what it does, but I can tell you that it's free. Is there anything else that's free? Did I miss anything?
You can dislike for free.
I mean, you could. Hey, look. Hey, if you dislike it, it's your right. That's why the button's there. So that's free. That's also free for me to tell you that if you made it this far and you disliked it, that you Go the hell. You come back next week and dislike the next video too. If I tell you what, if you dislike this video, I want you here every single week. Dislike. I need haters just like I need friends. So you come on and you hate watch, okay? I dare you to. You won't. I know you won't.
Who needs haters with friends like these?
Yeah, exactly. But yes, that does wrap everything up nice and neatly in a little bow. So make sure you
That'll do
stay
us for
tuned
this week.
for our shorts. We'll have some content, some of the stuff that we say out of context. That's always fun. We love those. We're over on the TikTok. We're on the YouTube, which is where you're seeing this because that's where we do that at. So yeah, this has been Across the Pondcast Gaming with me, Stan, and your host. There's a gap. Okay. All right. Well, all right. Get out of here. Go do something productive.
Bye.
Hey, watch one of our other episodes. Why not? It may be old, but hey, just put us on in the background. All right. Bye.